All right, everyone. Well, welcome to our second GED session. We're so happy to have Lisa with us here again, once again, to help support us in all we do. I will go ahead and turn the time over to you, Lisa. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Welcome, everybody. Thank you again for joining us for more, new and interesting information about GED. Today's focus is on GED Manager as a tool to support adult educators, to support adult learners. And it's a great tool that we're constantly um, updating and getting new ideas about and refining. And so I have my paper and pencil here. I'm so old fashioned, paper and pencil. Um, so if you have comments and ideas that you want to share or things you want me to take back to the team, that's kind of how we get better at this is feedback and good ideas from the field. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and I have of course, a slide deck to share. Okay, and move your faces, minimal. And go ahead and feel free to ask questions. I don't see you all. So if there is anything in the chat, maybe somebody can alert me, or if anybody wants to ask a question, speak up. You can hear me and see my screen okay?
Yes, and I'll be happy
We can see it okay.
to do that,
It looks
Lisa.
like you're in your presenter mode and not the full screen.
There you
go.
Okay, great. All right, so like I said, we're going to talk about GED Manager, and a big part of that is score reports. And so we'll cover a little bit of that and some other things as well. I wanted to talk about GED Prep Connect today as well, which is a really important part of the GED management tool. And you'll see as we talk about it, the value in it, I think, for your adult ed program. And I want to go over how to look at the score reports to support your students. So the benefits of GED Prep Connect, and if you don't think you have Prep Connect within your GED Manager, you should. But as we go through, you'll see some screenshots and verify in your GED Manager that you do have it. There were some people set up without it in the beginning. I think we covered all that. Everybody's now got it, but just because of that, I'm letting you know if it's not recognizable what I'm talking about, then you can request that from me, and I'll ask operations to set you up with the Prep Connect in the GED Manager. But basically, it helps to push awareness of the adult ed programs that are in the area for students, and it helps students to get closer to success within the program. And basically we are, it's a great tool for managing access to student information and also recruitment for your program. So raising student awareness begins with the GED.com account for students. Again, we do push to GED classes. So one of the places that students will see that is when they are creating their account as they're filling out their profile. We're asking them if they're interested in classes, and then we will show them if they say yes, they just have to put in an address or their zip code, and all the ones in that area will appear. They can select the one that they want. I think I mentioned this before, but the little gold star means that that program has some sort of state or federal funding. It doesn't have to be entirely funded through state and feds, but it does give a little more clout to the program if they have some state or federal funding. So we identify that there. If you notice that you don't have a gold star, let me know and tell me what kinds of federal or state funding you have, and then I can ask ops to add it. Once they've selected a program, it will go into their profile. They also have the opportunity to remove the selection and select another one. So, and it's really important. Again, I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but that you check your programs in our system and make sure that the address and phone number are correct. Because those change frequently, and sometimes I see 9999999, and that's obviously not accurate. But the more accurate we have this information online for them, the easier it's going to be for them to find you. Additional ways to test to connect with the test center. I'm sorry, a prep center, test prep center, is in their study section. Again, they'll find the GED classes little window there. There's also this, we see where the red arrow is, there's this icon up in the right-hand corner on their score reports. I didn't even realize this until recently because it's not very self-explanatory, but it also is a way to find prep centers in their area. Also, on their actual score, there's a place right here where under their test date, just share my score and find GED classes in case there is no one there yet to share their score with. And also on their dashboard. Oh, and there's one more in their edit profile. So there's a lot of places that they're being pushed towards prep centers. And it will be listed in their profile once they've selected it.
Lisa, we do have a question.
Yeah.
And is there a way to share scores with two different adult ed programs?
No, there's not. It has to be the one that's selected. But the student can, in person, sit next to someone and share from their account. But the only way for them to see it in GED Manager is the one that's selected, and that's where it goes. So to connect to the curriculum, yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say thank you for responding to
Oh,
that.
sure. The big deal about the score reports is being able to share the information. I'm sorry, to be able to connect the curriculum to it. So this is what it looks like in a score report on the student account. And when they click on their score report, it's a new, and I think I touched on this last time because it's new, and I talked about what was new last time, but now they are guided with this video. I'm not able to show you the video right here, but with your fake student account, you could check it out. But you're able to give them instructions on how to connect, how to link their study materials. It's always been there, the linking of the study materials, but not every student actually takes that extra step. And so we put the we put the video in there to encourage them to take that next step, to connect to their curriculum. So you see here a score of 100, not likely to pass, but now we need to see what that person needs to do to improve their score. So the video will show them to then select the curriculum that they have. And once that's selected, they're given the skills that they need to improve based on where those skills are in the chapters or the lesson plans of that particular curriculum. Some people are using 2 or 3 curriculums, and you can print this out and then switch the curriculum and print that one out and switch to the other curriculum so that they have a whole a pathway to what they need to focus on. They don't need to waste their time with anything else. I mean, of course, they can study more, but it's just a way for them to really be efficient with their time. It works the same with the score reports of the ready tests as well as the official tests. You can see the student scores from GED Manager in both the subject area and the score area. So both of those will lead you to the score report. And I don't know if you've used this, but there is a high GED ready in case there's too many things going on their dashboard. And so you can click on the high GED ready just to look at the official scores, the official tests, or you can leave them there if you want to look at those. Yeah, Thomas, yeah.
Lisa, I noticed recently that Edgenuity is a linkable resource in the linkable resource section. Can you give us some details on how that works? Because Edgenuity, it's a online coursework tool that we use. Does it just provide a list of standards that we need to add to the course? Does it,
Now,
I don't know,
this
how does that work?
This is new to me. I'm sorry that I don't have the answer to that. I'm taking notes right now and I can send an email when I do find out. Has anybody used it? Anybody in this meeting? No. So that's new to me. That's the thing working at GED. They're coming up with new stuff all the time. So let me look into that and get back to you. I can send an email to the group.
I guess I have a follow-up
Yeah.
question. If I linked that resource with the student's GED ready tests, could I unlink it and link a different resource like a Kaplan book?
Yeah, if you're talking about in the score report connecting to curriculum, yeah, that's what I was talking about. You can unselect and select and unselect and select. You can do that as many
Okay,
times for every curriculum.
awesome. That way I can just experiment with it and see if it works. I was worried that if I linked it and I didn't like it, then my ability to link to a Kaplan book would be limited.
No, in fact, it's quite the opposite, actually. The from GED Manager, if you've linked a curriculum in that student's account and then printed out a path for them to study, and you did that again and again, however many times you did that with different curriculums, it will never stick. If you're in the student's account, it will remain there until they physically, click on a different one. But when you log out of that student's looking at that student's account, it will go away, the selection you made. And so the point of that is the student is the one who decides their path. And we want the student to control what they've left connected in their account. But we don't want the teachers to make that decision. That's really giving the power to the student, the tester. So it will never stick in your account.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good question. So enabling adult ed staff to connect with more students is a really good, a valuable part of the tool that we have here. It's an online management tool, and it's meant to support the students and the educators and administrators. So there's 3 kinds of GED Manager. Pretty much today, I don't know if we have any corrections here today, but we have a test administrator's staff, which is also the jurisdictional state admin access. And then we have corrections, which is a different kind of access. And then we have educators, student authorized view, which is probably what most of you have. Yeah, Don. Did you have a question, Don? Maybe not. So the things that we can do, just let me know, stop me or raise your hand again if I'm skipping over anybody. So the things you can do with GED Manager, and this used to be just the top four. Now we've added the last one as well. You can do the student search. You can do the score reports, as I said. There are student test activity reports, which I can show you, and a passer's report. And then you can also manage the enrollments, which is with the student authorized view only. So this is the home page for GED Manager. Actually, this is not the home page. I don't know why it says that, but this is the landing page when you go onto GED.com. Oops. And you would click on Educators and Administrators. Then it now gives you an option to go to GED Manager. And then you would be logging into your GED Manager account. It'll give you a login page, and then when you log in, you'll land here. This is the landing page for GED Manager. You can see up here, these are the different tabs. I think she has it highlighted here. Managing Students, GED Direct, Reporting, and Admin. So right under those tabs are the welcome to GED Manager. Any kind of announcements are going to be here, but then banners. As you go down a little bit more, you see the GED Direct dashboard, where it tells you how many tests you have in your account, and if you've purchased tests in GED Direct. It'll also show you information about when you last logged in. Remember, you should log in at least once every 180 days, because otherwise it will inactivate and you actually have to fill out another request form, a reactivation form that needs to go through an approval process. So it's kind of a little bit problematic. Not problematic, but it takes a little time. So try and at least log in once every 100, I guess that's 6 months. Or what is that? Yeah, anyway, 180 days. There's also some helpful videos here to help you with the GED Direct. And down here is where it shows you information that if you have the Prep Connect, it's going to tell you you have 10 students interested, or however many students have selected your site. It's going to tell you there how many have selected your site. And I'm going to show you what to do with that. Actions, GED Direct, what's new, and statistics. If you scroll down a little bit farther, you get the who to contact information, the helpful links, and helpful documents. There's some great tools in here, some great training videos. So anything that you're looking for more information on, if you can find it in here, it's going to give you some more valuable information. So the student search, basically you just go up to Manage Student and go down to Student Search and put in first, last name. You could put in an email address. It's good to try and narrow it down to, I guess you don't have to narrow it to jurisdiction, because that's my access. But the less you put in, the better, because otherwise it might be spinning for quite a while. I'm sorry, for some reason it's going forward on its own. So if you don't come up with anything, maybe try another. You could try a date of birth or an email. Like I said, of course, the easiest is if you have the GED ID, but probably, people are just working with names. And how to manage the enrollment. This is what I was talking about down in the Prep Connect section. So going up again to Manage Student, you can go to the Manage GED Prep Connect Enrollment, and it will show you student search. You can select an enrollment status and then hit search. The choices of the enrollment status, I believe, are enrolled, contacted, interested, or dismissed. And so you would be picking one of those, and then you would find, and you'd also pick a date range, and then you will find the students that are interested, say, in your site, but haven't been moved out of interested. Or you could just, if you don't pick an enrollment status, you can just pick a date range, and it'll show you all of the statuses.
Lisa, we do have a question.
Yeah.
And it is the following. I've been trying to authorize a student. I've tried searching for her every way possible in manage authorizations, but she doesn't come up. She even gave us the GED ID, and the search doesn't return any results. Any ideas on why that would happen?
Well, there's a few reasons that happens sometimes. That's a little bit of a troubleshooting thing where it's good to have my email, because you could shoot me an email with whatever details you do have about that person, and I can then look in my GED manager, which sees more than yours does. Sometimes the person is underage. Sometimes the person moved from another state, and maybe they changed their address, but they didn't change their jurisdiction in their profile. So there's a couple reasons that it could happen. Usually we're able to find them. So that's the kind of thing that I might need to help you troubleshoot with. I'd be happy to if you want to shoot me an email, and I would be able to see things you can't, to be able to try and figure that one out. Good to have my email, because it kind of saves a lot of time. If you find yourself, searching and searching and searching and not coming up with an answer, I can try and help. Anything else
you.
about that? No other questions?
Someone made a comment. I've had students not show up because they hadn't answered all the questions in setup.
You had them not show up to class because they had to answer all the questions? Is that, oh, not show up. Oh, okay. You're not show up in the
In the listing.
in GED Manager because they had not answered all the questions. That's another example of what might happen. Sometimes I'll write to operations, and they'll come back to me and say, yeah, this person didn't finish their setup. So absolutely, that's another reason. Thank you very much. Helpful comment. So like I said, you can, in the managed student enrollment, you can sort by one student or groups of students, as I said, with the different kinds of statuses. And then you can change the student from interested to contacted or dismissed or enrolled. Oh yeah, the other one was credentialed. That's the other status. And then you have the ability to write notes about the student. Wanted to just go back one more time. So I think that's where you would go into the edit to do that. So as I said, you have interested, and it's all the people who have selected your site. Enrolled would be a part of your program. Contacted means that you or someone at your site has reached out to that student. Dismissed, there might be some reason, maybe they decided another prep center, or they changed their mind, they don't want to study, they when you put dismissed, it's really good to put a little note in the note taking area so that people know why. And then credentialed, that's the big celebratory. That's what we're all looking for. Yeah, it's here. It's in the edit button that you would go next to the student's name, and you just scroll down in their status and put enrolled, if that's what it is, in the drop-down menu. Then you have the note section. You can put notes down below, and then you have to hit confirm for it to stick. So it is going to ask you if you do have a dismissed. It will ask you for a dismissed reason, and if it shows up in the drop down, you can just click on that, or if it's an other, you can put notes. This is what the note looks like. Once you have created a note, once you've gone into edit and created a note, it will show you with this icon next to the status whether there's a note in there or not. so encouraging you, please, to update those statuses. We see them on our end, and also your state administrator sees them on their end. There's a new dashboard in analytics that shows how many people in every state are just sitting there interested, and sometimes it's hundreds or thousands. And so we're concerned that people might not be being contacted, and also or they might be contacted, but nobody's moving them over to enrolled or dismissed or credentialed. And so we're trying to make it a useful tool, but it's only as useful as as people participate in it. So we are really encouraging people to use it. Some people assign maybe a staff member once a week or once a month to do it, or once every 2 weeks. But it does give you an opportunity to invite people. And remember, these are people who have selected your program, so they have given you they have said, you can reach out to me. They've given you their contact information. There are some sample texts in here, sample emails, and I will be sending this presentation so that you guys can have it. But this is an example of a text message. We're eager to help you get started, and gives, the address or the location. Sometimes you might have an open house you can invite people to. So it's a great opportunity to reach out and let them know that you see that they're interested, and you're interested in them as well and supporting them. Sample email for you. If you select this option of the notifications, as you see here under admin, it will give you an email notification each time someone selects your prep center. That might be another way to stay on top of it, if you want those kind of emails. GED Direct. Most people here have probably used GED Direct by now, but if you haven't, it's the new way that we are selling tests that we have had so many issues with voucher code spreadsheets and expiration dates. So it avoids all that. There's no codes, there's no expiration dates, and you're able to, sorry, keeps advancing on its own. You're able to distribute the tests directly to the students digitally within their account. So we're finding it to be a much easier way to work with the tests. Right now on GED Direct, you can get in-person tests, official tests, OP, online proctored official tests, the ready practice tests, and now they just added the retake vouchers as well in there. So you can get as many ready tests as you need. And there is a discount if you buy the GED Ready practice tests through GED Direct. I think it starts at something like $565 or something, and it goes down depending on how many you're buying. And that's much better than the $799 when you buy them on GED Marketplace. There's also other ways to buy them, because our partner publishers also sell the ready tests. They don't sell the official tests, but you might be also able to get a decent price through the publishers for the practice tests.
Lisa, we did have a question in regards to GED Direct, and that was, does it work for corrections?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Right. And do most programs provide GED Ready tests for their students?
That's a hard question for me to answer. I work with 8 different states and everybody does it different and different programs do it different. Some states, they have a whole statewide program. I think Alaska does. But in California, for example, it depends on the program. So I don't know if I can say most or uh, I I I think that it's possible most programs have figured out a way to fund it. And get the money back somehow. So I don't know if anyone at the state is on this call, if you can answer that. I don't know about your programs.
Yeah, I could jump in. It
Thanks.
does vary a little bit by site because every program runs things in their own way, but practice tests are an acceptable use of state funds. So what I've seen is that most programs will provide the GED Ready test, and then the individual student is paying for their official test fees.
Yeah, so that's the answer for your state. Sorry, I didn't have the
No, you're
specifics for
good.
your state, but that's great. Okay, and so the other really nice thing about it is that you can so easily assign tests to your students. You can also share with other educators in your program. As long as they have GED Manager, you can create a pool of share account so that if you just put their email in the share account, they will be able to go into the pool of tests that you have purchased and assign them as well. So there's just so many ways that doing this digital option, it's making it a lot easier. You can also unassign a test. If somebody doesn't use it after a week or two or 3, you can take it back. So that just is much easier to do in this version of purchasing the tests. And then again, you have the GED Direct dashboard, which shows you where you're at with all that, how many you have, and where they're assigned. Now, how to view the student activity. As I said, that you could do a student test activity report. You hover over the reporting and then click on student test activity report, and you can pull up all the students at once rather than searching individually. And you can use the exam subject field to decide which report you want. You can print score reports in bulk if you want. You can do up to 100 score reports at a time. So here, for example, you have somebody doing a test activity report on the GED below passing. It's good to have a date range, otherwise you're going to probably have too many. And then you can click on the graphic right next to their score to see their reports, their score reports. But that way you can know who needs work. If you're doing, for example, some people who do, say, a math boot camp, they might want to see a test activity report that shows math, who tested just in the 140 to 144 range, who's just almost there but needs a little bit of boost, and then invite all those people to a boot camp. There's all kinds of ways people would want to see activity report. Then you can see here that you can use any of the filters, and you should, like I said, limit your date range so you don't get too much information. But it will export up to 1,000 rows. For the student test activity report, the name and GED ID will be here. And again, you have the skills to improve. You also have the opportunity to search for a voucher in the in GED Manager. If you go to the student test activity report, there's a place here for a voucher. If you enter a number, voucher number here, it will tell you if that's been used and who used it and what date. You can also do a passer's report. You can see who's credentialed within a certain time period. Invite them to the graduation. You have to put in again your date data. Oop. And all the information goes in overnight. So you'd have to pick the date right before the date you're trying to generate the report, because data's, like I said, it's added nightly and there's a 24-hour delay. So you can preview the report or download the report once you've created the report. If you were to download the report, you could save it to a CSV file. Okay, so this is important. So all students who earn their credential within the date range will be listed. And you will see these bits of information next to their name. So if you don't already have GED Manager, or if you have staff at your site that would like access to GED Manager and Prep Connect, you would send them to GED.com and educators and administrators to get to this page. And then you would hover over educators and go down to the GED Manager section. This is also where you would go if for some reason somebody's account was deactivated, because that's where that form is too. So this is what you would click on to get the form to fill out for getting access. And this is where you would click to get the reactivation form. If you do not see the Prep Connect in your GED Manager, you can request access through this link. Now, the process is that when you submit to get access, it goes straight to your state administrator, because your state administrator is the one who approves access. And then once that's approved, operations is alerted and they set it up. And then the person who's requested it will get an email that is reset the password email. And once that password has been reset, your account is active. These are links to that if you need it. And there's also a training video here. Now, I know I think you're scheduled till 2 here. And so I did kind of run through this pretty quickly, but I do think a lot of you know a lot of this. So I didn't want to bore you with it, but I want to leave this up. So make sure you have my email. And as I said, I will send this out. This is a link as well. This contact us is general help. It actually it takes you to a form to fill out to be more specific about the help that's needed. We've created a new help form so that we can try and be more efficient. I'm going to stop sharing now and find out if anyone has any follow-up questions. I do have the Ingenuity question about that linkable. I think we maybe answered that question because I wasn't understanding your question at first, and then I realized that what you're talking about is in the score report, and that's one of the publishers. So I think that that question may have been answered. I don't need to follow up with an email. Is that correct for whoever asked that? Is that you, Thomas?
Yeah, I just didn't know how it works because it's an online course tool we have a GED course available to us, but suggesting that we can link that resource means that somehow we're able to limit that tool, personalize it to the student using the link in the
And
score
what
report.
what the link would do is, since it's an online tool, it would tell them what sections of the online tool that they need to spend time on. So
Oh,
it
okay.
would be as if it's sending to chapters in a book, a textbook, it would be sending to sections in an online tool. So I
Okay.
think that's why I didn't quite understand the question, because I'm not as familiar with that particular curriculum. But if it's one of the ones there in the score to connect, the curriculum to connect, that's the link. That's what it's doing. It's not taking you to Ingenuity, and it's just connecting to what they got wrong, the questions they got wrong, and pointing them to the sections they need to go to in that program digitally to remediate their score, to make.
So that's a report we would need because students can't necessarily customize their own course in Ingenuity, but we can customize it.
Okay.
So,
All right. And like I said, since I'm not as familiar with that particular program, I wasn't as clear about that question. So, and do keep in mind that they can do it from their own account as well. It's just that then they would maybe want to show it to you so that you can adapt it to what you create in their plan.
awesome. Thank
Okay.
you.
So that makes sense. Okay. And there's something here in the chat.
Yes, the question is, can we check to see if there are accommodations for certain students?
No. The only way you can be involved in accommodations for a student is if in their application for accommodations, they put your name as one of their advocates. So that's kind of working backwards, right? So you can't go in and see who has accommodations. No, because there's legal reasons we need to protect people's information in that regard. But if that student wants your help, I mean, you could even sit down next to them but they have to be in their account to apply for the accommodations. And there is a section and they can go back to that section and edit it at any time. They need to put your name before any of us can talk to you about their accommodations. But you won't be able to go and just see who of all your students have them. Is that clear?
Thank you.
Is there a way we can get an email when a student needs their jurisdiction or age cleared?
Oh, a follow-up question to the previous one was,
Oh, the accommodations.
yes, when we view accommodations on a taskbar, what does that mean?
I think what that means is what accommodations are available to apply for. And possibly a link to the application. And then the question above was, can you get an email when a student needs their jurisdiction or age cleared? I'll make that as a note, but I have a feeling that's going to be a little bit cumbersome for our systems to handle. What happens is people, um, you in GED Manager would either see them or not see them, right? And um, Jamie, are you at a options program? Do you see a lot of underage students? Okay. So I think we need to, I mean, options is new in, options is new in Utah. So we're just sort of hashing out the systems. But I don't know if we will be able to send an email when that needs to happen. I think that the easiest way is to send me an email if you're not able to see somebody, and I can clarify it, or maybe I don't log in very often, so sometimes I get to discover some old ones. Maybe we should take this offline and discuss how, what your needs are and how you're working with them. Because the way you would see the way you would discover it is by not being able to find them when you search for them. And then there's going to be something, and you're going to reach out to me, and I'm going to tell you, oh, or your state admin would also be able to see this. Then we'd be able to tell you if it's a jurisdictional issue or an age issue. Right?
Right. So,
Yeah.
so just a student creating an account and creating a flag isn't going to flag our programs to go and seek them out. They have to come to our programs with their GED eligibility and adult education application form, the mouthful form, in order for us to clear those. So the onus is on the student to reach out to us to have those flags cleared.
And if they reach out to you at the site, you can reach out to Danielle.
Yeah, and so when they come to you, ideally you're just putting in their name and they're pulling up. And if not, Lisa and I can search and troubleshoot for you.
Question is, do they know that?
They are directed when they create their account that they see the alert. They're not able to schedule a GED test, and it tells them they need to contact their adult education center. So
it's being communicated. Yeah. Thank you, Danielle. Well, I hope some of this was valuable. I know some of it was probably stuff you knew, but I do want to stress the whole Prep Connect thing is a really valuable way to build your programs and support the community by reaching out to them. Sometimes they'll select your site and then go to their job and then cook and shop, and life takes them into so much away from GED. And so it's a great opportunity to show your support by saying, hey, I noticed, you were interested in classes. And like I said, if you have an open house or signing up for fall quarter or whatever, it's a really great opportunity to bring people into the fold. I think it probably feels good to them that somebody noticed that they were interested in a program. So, and it helps us, see the flow of things if we're doing it right. So I'm glad that you thought it was useful, Jamie.
So Lisa, I had a thought as you were going through the slides just on the verbiage that as the student is creating an account and it asks them, are you interested in taking prep classes? If that could even be, are you interested or currently enrolled in a prep class? Because then our current students would know to open that up and select their site.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I was like, just a little bit of wordsmithing, but
I'm going to make a note of that and share that.
I would second that. That would be a huge help.
Yes, it would.
Okay. That's a great idea. I wrote it down and I'll take it back. Great. Well, thank you for coming, everybody. And we have some more great webinars coming up. I'm bringing in specialists. I've secured Kelly Blair Hart for math. I don't know if any of you know her, but she's just an amazing math person. And I'm going to have Debbie Burkhold, who's the head of accommodations, do the accommodations webinar. And the testing center, opening testing centers. I don't know if that'll be a different group of people, but that's going to be the person who's in charge of helping GED opening testing centers. So, and I have some other people doing the content area stuff. So I look forward to the other meetings, and I hope that that you guys make it to those as well, and let your other staff members know, colleagues.
Yes, the following session will be on science on October 14th,
Yeah.
2 to 3 o'clock. And we look forward to seeing all of you again.
Thomas is typing. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate your time. Okay. I'll see
Bye,
you next
everyone.
time.
Thank you,
You
Lisa.
too.
Thanks, Lisa.
Bye.
Bye.